Hello, everybody. Welcome to WFP Innovation Day, a UN 2.0 official side event under the theme of Partnering for Innovation. My name is Sandra Rad, and I'm speaking to you from Munich, the home of WFP's Innovation Accelerator. I have the pleasure to be your host for today. Before we start, I would like to remind you and myself that this event is being recorded. We have an engaging and interactive
the acceleration
and rely on you to keep comments and reactions coming in the chat. We have also created an interaction space on Slido. Simply go to slido.com and enter UN 2024 for any of your questions and feedback. We'll get to them throughout the event. And if you can see the chat function, of course, you can use that as well. Together with my team at the WFP Innovation Accelerator and the broad network of WFP innovation units and hubs, we are honored to welcome all of you to the celebration of WFP's track record across many of our regions, offices, and operations. And we look forward to showcasing WFP's commitment to innovation and fostering partnerships in the world's most challenging environments. Today's event is an opportunity to explore how different parts of WFP are embracing the quintet of change. Besides innovation, the organization is embracing digitization, foresight, behavioral science, and data to plan with accuracy, improve, and optimize its operations and reach more people more sustainably and efficiently. Through first-hand accounts from field staff, leaders, and global partners of WFP, we look forward to sharing our lessons and inspiring an exchange with all of you tuning in. Innovation is helping WFP tackle the food crisis. Let's take a look.
The acceleration of already high food, fertilizer, and fuel prices has triggered a global crisis that could drive millions more into extreme poverty, magnifying hunger and malnutrition, while threatening to raise the global humanitarian caseload to new highs and erase hard-won development gains.
We do need global action now. It is important to acknowledge that the world is facing unprecedented and simultaneous challenges, crises, and conflicts that exacerbate food insecurity, and those can't be solved with innovation alone. However, innovation is a testament to our unending resolve in finding solutions to mitigate the effect of these problems on the world's most vulnerable people. With that, it is my pleasure to kick off our program for today with a very, very special guest who, in lieu of being with us in person, has sent her message via video. WFP Assistant Executive Director for Partnerships and Innovation, Rania Dagash-Kamara.
Welcome to a celebration of innovation. My name is Rania Dagash-Kamara, and I work for Partnerships and Innovation at the World Food Programme. I'm pleased to welcome you to WFP's Innovation Day. We are partnering for innovation. April 21st marked World Creativity and Innovation Day. Now that's a date to raise awareness of innovation in all aspects of human development. And this week marked another thing. It was the first ever UN 2.0 week. It reflects the Secretary General's vision of a modern UN community with cutting-edge skills for the 21st century. It turbocharges our support to people and planet. A key component of UN 2.0 is the quintet of change. There are 5 drivers of change. That's innovation, that's data, that's digital foresight and behavioral science skills and culture. That's where the UN's transformation begins. It was a year ago that the WFP's Executive Director, Ms. Cindy McCain, placed innovation at the forefront of our strategic priorities. With her leadership, we are positioning innovation as central to ending hunger. And in this context, I have 4 key messages to share with you today. The first is that over 300 million people are facing acute levels of hunger, while the humanitarian community is facing a severe funding crunch. Another 42 million people are on the edge of famine. Conflicts, climate change, rising costs of food continue to push more and more people to the brink. And we are faced to make impossible choices, who we can reach and how much we can reach them with. The second message is that because of these increasing needs and fewer resources, we must find ways to do better with the resources we have at hand. This means opportunities to employ innovation, such as artificial intelligence, predictive analysis, data, and how we use these elements together for good. Doing so gives us a unique opportunity to accelerate progress towards ending hunger, while saving costs and becoming more efficient and effective. So a bingo in many ways. The third is that we recognize that we cannot achieve zero hunger on our own. Innovation goes hand in hand with partnerships and coming together as a global community to spur smart ideas, to create new ways of thinking. It's why today's theme is partnering for innovation. And it is particularly important to take advantage of the expertise and the knowledge of the private sector and to leverage their insights to better deliver our work across the system. My fourth and final point is about our shared responsibility to ensure that all communities enjoy the benefits of this leapfrog development we are building. Innovation and working together is part of our DNA as WFP. And about 40 years ago now, we led the first airdrop of emergency humanitarian relief. And while this may seem like a well-tried and tested operation today, it was a completely new way of working at the time. The innovations that we make today will shape the future. I'm proud to know that there is a cross-collaboration between agencies through the UN Innovation Network. It's co-led by WFP and UNICEF and UNDP. But the innovations we leverage aren't only about how we deliver or do our jobs, but it's also about how we empower the communities we serve. In sub-Saharan Africa, artificial intelligence is giving smallholder farmers precise information to help grow and improve their yields. In Latin America, technology is working to reduce inefficiencies in supply chains, and in turn, that's lowered the cost of nutritious food for low-income communities. And globally, an innovation in cash assistance is bolstering security and giving people the choice to decide what they need most and when. Simply put, our innovations are people-centric. Today, we're leveraging innovation to make sure that we leave no one behind. And on a personal note, As a female leader in today's world, I would like to encourage every one of you, regardless of your role or your years of experience or your national origin or your belief, to explore ways to embed the UN 2.0 agenda and innovate in your daily work. Thank you to all colleagues for your willingness to partner for innovation and your dedication towards the people that we serve. Thank you.
Woohoo! Virtual
Welcome.
applause. Big thanks. Big thanks to our new Assistant Executive Director, Rania Dagash Kamara, for your support and championing of innovations from your very first moments at WFP. For the next segment of our event, we're taking you on a world tour of 6 different locations where one or many speakers will showcase the work of their team. It will go fast. Each speaker will only have between 4 and 8 minutes, so get comfortable. We welcome all your interactions in the chat or on Slido. Our first speaker is here to represent one of WFP's most complex operations. She is part of the cash-based transfer team in the Afghanistan country office. Joining us on the virtual stage is Alejandra Rivera Stapper. Thank you for coming online, Alejandra. Over to you.
Afternoon, colleagues. Good morning in other parts of the world. Just checking if you can all see me, hear me.
We can hear you, but not see you.
Let me see.
This is what it looks like.
Technical difficulties, sorry. Let me switch to the camera of my own computer.
Yes, we can see you now.
Now you can see me.
Perfect. Thank you, Alejandra.
Thank you, everybody. How are you? Good day to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, representing, as Sandra was saying, one of the biggest and most complex WFP operations in terms of everything, basically. The context, how is ever changing, the difficulties that people faces here, and especially the difficulties faced by women in this country. What we have done with the team, which I'm representing, is a big team behind all of this, that we work nonstop to provide better solutions and people-centered solutions and approach to the beneficiaries and the people we serve. So what I'm showcasing today for you is the CBT portfolio and how a cash-based transfer portfolio can bring to a difficult context, to a very volatile context, innovative solutions and program design. Next slide, please. So at the center of our action and our idea and what we do as a CBT team is to link unserved populations with financial services. Afghanistan has historically always been a cash economy. The country has always been full with sanctions, so it always has been difficult to have access to financial services. This is linked to mistrust to banks and people just trusting in cash and the cash that they have in their own pocket. People are used to it, to queue for a system. However, we have taken a people-centered approach, profiling the needs of our beneficiaries to serve populations that have not historically has never had access to financial services, but also link it with local markets. We can give our beneficiaries bank accounts and cards, but if they cannot use it in the markets, we're gaining nothing. We have worked with the local markets and the financial service providers to promote the usage of digital payments, promote the usage of cashless transactions, and the financial inclusion of beneficiaries. We have targeted female-headed households that are, in this context, the most vulnerable ones, the ones who have not access to jobs, They have not access to perhaps just move freely in their own cities, in their own places of where they live. But we are removing protection issues, meaning that if a woman is outside, they need to have a male companion. So if we are asking someone for queue for hours when everybody can see that they are receiving assistance, that poses a risk, a safety risk for our beneficiaries. If we're able to give them a financial service that will give them the option to save money, to go very quietly to a local shop that is very near to where they live and do transactions, get money out and do payments and get food, we are not only linking financial services, unserved populations, supporting the markets, but also removing potential safety risks of our beneficiaries. This is what we are doing using the innovation, leveraging all the services that we can find in this context, working with financial sector very hand in hand with the local shops. The local shops where our beneficiary lives, to make sure that everything is linked, connected, and easy access to our beneficiaries. Next slide, please. This is our portfolio of solutions, what we have in the country. Just a little bit of context and background. We moved from 2022 and 2023 on a roughly 30% of CBT assistance in the Afghanistan country office portfolio to a 50% in-kind and 50% CBT. It's a huge bet from our office, from our management, to keep promoting this type of innovation, this type of services, this type of modernizing our portfolio. To provide other types of services. This is what we have in our CBT portfolio, and 70%, 73% is what we cover in cash, through cash in hand, to bank accounts, and to digital solutions. Next slide, please. As I was saying, our cash programming is with the people at the center. We're moving away from long hours of queuing to receive assistance for people to become the owners of their bank and digital accounts. We have access now to bank accounts, digital wallets, mobile money operators, and what we call mobile shops and agents that can receive all the solutions that we have in our portfolio for beneficiaries to cash out their assistance or do cashless payments. Our local shops receive some commission for receiving all of our solutions that we have in our portfolio. So we have a multiplier effect with the local economies, and we promote safety and penetration of digital transactions in the country. There is a big diaspora of Afghans outside, of course, the country that would like to support their families. So when people have their own bank account, their own financial service, they can receive money from other family members from outside the country as well. We are moving to the next slide. We are also supporting and using innovation solutions, technology solutions for emergency response. Afghanistan is a very prone country to different type of emergency. We have several onset emergencies at the same time. It's very prone to earthquakes, to flash floodings, to returns coming back from the neighboring countries. So what we have done is leveraging our contacts with local shops to be able to move the markets where it's needed. We have the example in the picture of a mobile shops that we did an earthquake response last year, where beneficiaries lost everything. All the cities were and the locations were absolutely flattened. So we move the market right next to our beneficiaries. We move our shops with all the foods and non-food items to beneficiaries being able to redeem assistance in the place where they were living. So they were able to access not only food, but also first need goods like perhaps blankets, sanitary products for women, cooking ovens, and so on. We are bringing modern solutions to difficult contexts, to ever-changing difficult contexts, and linking, as I've been saying, financial market, local economy and local shops, and the empowerment of our beneficiaries being the owners of their own accounts. It's their money, the way they want to use it, and reinstating the dignity. We're moving away from the long queuings for beneficiaries in order to receive assistance, to make sure that they are the owners and they're empowered to use their assistance the way they know it's better for their families. All of our solutions are unrestricted cash, meaning that they have the availability to use it the way they require it. Especially important for women. We do an amazing job targeting female-headed households for them to be able to save money and use that savings perhaps to start putting a business, to be able to just give money to their daughters, save money for their mother, for their daughters, being able to perhaps save money for sending their families away to study. So it's a big bet from the Afghanistan country office to keep enabling these solutions, to keep supporting the cash-based transfer teams. And the idea this year is 50% CBT. And the next one, we will want to do 60% of CBT on the Afghanistan country office portfolio. So
thank you, Alexandra, for your support. Sorry to interrupt you, but you've really exceeded the time allocated, and I have to make space for other speakers. So we really extend our gratitude to the rest of your team and the Afghanistan country office for their dedication. It's really inspiring to see how even in one of the most complex and dangerous operations, WFP is still able to set up a sophisticated and modern portfolio of cash operations that can support a population really eager to break the cycle of food insecurity. So thank you for your presentation. It was really a pleasure to welcome you. And next up, we welcome one of WFP's most prolifically innovative country offices, Kenya, and Regional Bureau, East Africa, who join us to lead the first of two launches in today's event. Please join me in welcoming Federico Nakarato, Head of Innovation at the Kenya Country Office. Over to you, Federico.
Thank you, Sandra. Hello, everyone, my friends, and welcome to this very important day. Today really marks a new milestone for our innovation family as we launch the Innovation Playbook. Over the past years, I had the privilege to lead an amazing team of innovators here in Kenya. Our work has been described as revolutionary by some of you, drawing interest from colleagues across the different operations. So, inspired by this, the Kenya Country Office, in collaboration with the RBN Hub, and obviously with Innovation Accelerator, we have embarked on a journey to share our knowledge and our experiences through what we will call the Innovation Playbook. This playbook contains the best practices and the real-life examples to help others to drive successful innovations at field level. This playbook will also serve as a knowledge management tool, offering inspirations to those who aim to leverage innovation to save and change lives. As we embark on this journey together, let's remember, innovation has no boundaries. It's the driving force behind our mission to alleviate hunger and transform lives. Thank you all for being a force of change. Now I will pass it to my colleague Andrea, who will present the playbook in a nutshell. We'll show you a little bit about it, just a sneak preview. But just before that, please enjoy this video we created for you. Thank you so much.
Throughout its 60-year history, WFP has consistently innovated. It started with the first airlift to deliver food assistance.
Since then, we've introduced innovations ranging from hydroponics practices to grow food in informal urban settlements or deserts, new models to link farmers to markets, and artificial intelligence to collect nutritional data from the most remote places.
Now, imagine if you could have access to this rich knowledge and innovation experience.
We are excited to introduce you to the WFP Innovators Playbook, your new go-to resource on innovation.
Whether you're taking your first steps into innovation or already implementing projects, the Playbook equips you with field-tested tools and templates and real-world case studies.
We structured the playbook to guide you through every step of the innovation process, from understanding and defining the challenge, ideating solutions, to testing, piloting, and scaling innovations.
The content is inspired by the experience of the Kenya Country Office, and it aims to encourage you to find new ways for the problems that we are facing as WFP or the ones experienced by the communities we assist.
The WFP Innovators Playbook doesn't prescribe a one-size-fits-all solution. You can start the process at any point and use it in a way that works for your context.
You can access the WFP Innovators Playbook on our SharePoint website. Try it, use it, adopt it. It is yours now.
Hello, everybody. My name is Andrea from the Kenya Innovation Unit, and I would like to also say a warm welcome in the name of the creator team of the Innovators Playbook. I would like to emphasize that for now, this is an internal resource for WFP colleagues all around the world to use, but we are looking into possibilities to potentially share parts of it externally as well. I would also like to say that this is part 1 that we are launching today. You will see in the chat, it's already in there. So we are launching the part on the innovation process itself, which is really, really practical. We also want to keep improving the content, so please provide us feedback. We have a form on the website to do that. Now, how it is structured. So let's see the video, how the playbook is structured. When you go on the website, you find the SharePoint website. And as you scroll down, you find yourself in the introduction section. Here we have an overview of innovation at WFP, methodologies driving innovation, and planning and facilitating workshops, and also a glossary of innovation terms. If you scroll down, you find the innovation process, from understand to actually scaling up innovations. If you click on any of the tiles, it directly takes you to the section selected. Here you find an overview deck of that chapter and downloadable, editable tools regarding that section. At the end, you find extra resources that you can check. So this is it in a nutshell, and I would just really like to say a huge, huge thank you to the creator team who invested so much time and effort into making it happen, especially Gulia, our very own knowledge management lead from the accelerator, also Anyona, Faith, and Sylvia, the fantastic innovation team here in the Kenya Country Office, also the RBN innovation team, and everyone else who supported the work either by contributing or providing feedback during the user testing sessions. Now, let me introduce another colleague of mine, one of the longest standing innovators in WFP Kenya, who will share a personal story of innovation at the Kenya Country Office and how something like the playbook could have been beneficial even at an earlier times. Winnie, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea, and hello to you all. My name is Winnie, and I drive the localization agenda and partnerships efforts within the innovation team. I would particularly like to share my story on cash transfers and how since 2011, I have watched it grow from a small-scale idea supporting 22,000 to now over 500,000 families in reach today. It's a story I hold near and dear to my heart, having been part of a multifunctional support team that led cash transfers to where it is now in Kenya, and most importantly, applying innovation throughout the various stages. And as I look at what we have done over the years, I can't help but reflect back on how the journey has been for Kenya. But the switch for us was not so simple. And we picked some painful lessons along the way. For instance, at the onset, we chose banks to deliver cash, but the various factors such as low agent coverage, lengthy carding processes became a deterrent to scale. Thinking back, perhaps a user research and persona study would have saved us that time. Applying co-creation processes became a necessary part of our solution designs, and this we did with the different financial service providers to align with government requirements, overcome rigidity of some of our WFP processes, all while constantly applying iterative and innovative thinking for us to deliver that much needed assistance to the populations in need. To address some of these bottlenecks, we had to work closely with some of the providers that we had. And in 2015, the country office hosted a simulated exercise drawing participation from other country offices and relevant departments as a mini test of a cash transfer process from start to end that helped to shape what we are today. And it is because of this, we were able to move cash transfers as it were today. And I would really love to focus on the journey, but because this would take a day or two, I would like to reflect on how the innovation playbook would have helped us. As the facilitators, we had no direct guidance, but tackled each challenge as it came. However, it need not be that way. And that's why the practitioner's guide comes in handy, as we do not need to reinvent the wheel. We can learn from those who have done it before and fine-tune our programs much faster. This is where WFP's innovative and innovators playbook can play an essential role. And to remind us of the innovation journey and how we can reference it in our work, let us trust the process. And finally, to spur a community of knowledge on best practices and innovation resource base. The innovation process can help so many professionals like us. I now turn it over to Mohammed to wrap it up with our call to action.
Thank you so much, Winnie. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Mohammed from the Regional Bureau of Nairobi, the Innovation Hub for East Africa. And I lead our programming to strengthen internal innovation capacity at WFP. As part of our work to understand what's needed from the team members at WFP to innovate, our team realized that standard tools and processes for innovation could really help, just as Winnie just explained. So along with hiring and training innovation practitioners at the field level, the Regional Bureau of Nairobi decided to kickstart the Innovators Playbook. We would like to thank our donors for the RBN Innovation Hub, the USAID BHA team, and the Danida team who made this work possible. Now it's your turn to jump in, try, test the tools, share your feedback with our team, and get involved in the next iteration. Thank you so much, and back to you, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, and the entire team. Great to see everybody online. And I really wish this would have been available 8 years ago, but because this is a product of tested experience, it couldn't have been available 8 years ago. So really well done for everyone involved. Our tour takes us next to Munich, Germany, the home of WFP's Innovation Accelerator, where my colleague Gulia Rachimova joins us for our second exciting launch for today. One I am personally particularly eager to announce. We're not trying to compete with different launches, but these products were developed together, and we're really excited to share them with you today. Gulia, over to you.
Thank you, Sandra. And hello, everyone. I hope you are having a good day. I'm excited to be dialing in from Munich today to present one of the initiatives developed by the World Food Programme's Innovation Network. So today you will have seen the diversity of innovations and teams working on innovations across the World Food Programme. And a lot of us and the communities we work with face similar challenges in our work. And a lot of us often also come up with new ways to solve these problems. So how can we leverage this collective intelligence? That's the question that we asked. And we can go to the next slide here. So imagine if we had a global search engine for innovation that gives immediate insight into solutions that are implemented across the world by our colleagues, by startups, communities we work with. So this is our solution, WFP's innovation database that we are very excited to present and launch today at the event. So think of a problem we have been trying to solve recently. Maybe someone in Guatemala came up with a solution that can help address a similar challenge in India. Or imagine if you could immediately find out about the lessons learned from this initiative. So now we already have a strong innovation network that you could have observed today, and knowledge initiatives like this event. And we strive to be even more agile, save even more time and resources, avoiding duplication, and embrace the vision of the quintet of change. So this is our solution, the innovation database that consolidates data on all innovations globally across the World Food Programs, also the team behind them that you can connect with, lessons learned and other knowledge insights from these initiatives. Currently, you will see that it features more than 150 innovations, and it's with huge thanks to everyone from the WFP's Innovation Network who contributed their data. And you will also see just in a minute that it's a product of iteration and feedback. We try to develop an interface that is very intuitive, simple to understand. And with this, I will ask my colleagues to play a video. It's a very brief demo of the database, and you will be able to also explore it immediately today as well. So let's watch the video. Maybe that the sound is not working, if it's possible to, or maybe it's on my end.
These are the joys of live events. We're going to try again to share our screen. And if the video doesn't play the sound, maybe Gulia, you can just voice over since you're with us also now live as well. That would be great.
Sounds like a plan. Let's try again. And if it doesn't work, then yeah, I will do the voiceover.
Yeah, go for it, Gulia.
Okay, so we are now on the start page, and you can see here all the important sections of the database, innovations, people, and knowledge, as well as the portfolio insights, so the key stats. And you can just go and click on Explore, and it will immediately lead you to the innovations collection page. So maybe if you are here for the first time, you will want to explore it a bit. You will see that it's quite extensive, featuring projects from all around the world. And as I mentioned, one feature that we're really excited about, that it serves as a search engine, and you can see the filters right above that will help you find exactly what you're looking for. So here I selected problem solved, and for example, the climate change, and it immediately sorted the projects that tackle the climate change. And you can keep also narrowing down the list. There are filters for solutions, countries where the project's implemented, sustainable development goals, programmatic priorities of WFP, also target populations. It seems the video maybe also is lagging. And if you are also using a smaller screen, you will find more filters if you click more. So basically, you can really narrow down the list and find very specific solutions using these parameters. So also here you can see the maturity of innovations, the launch date, can be very specific period, and also type of innovation. So either internal or external venture, and so on. And you can also use the search function and keywords to find exactly what you're looking for. And here I narrowed down the list and selected artificial intelligence. And I think a lot of colleagues are interested in understanding the potential of AI for our work. So you can see some of the solutions that address AI and climate change. You can also clear filters, and now you see all the AI projects across WFP. And you can always also reset filters, go back and just explore the innovations as you see them. And of course, one of the important features, you can go to the details of each project. So it's even beyond the filters and see more about the impact, some of the lessons learned and knowledge assets, and also contact the teams behind this innovation. So you can also click the contact and reach out to the teams. And also speaking of the teams behind the innovations, I'm also showing you the people database, another resource we're excited about that features innovation teams across WFP, and you can connect with them directly using the database and also learn from their experience on specific projects as well. And another part of the database includes the knowledge base, which would allow us to also learn from each other's lessons learned, what worked, what haven't worked, and imagine how much duplication we could avoid and save resources with such a database. And it works in the same way. You can filter, find what you're looking for. I hope you will enjoy it. And the last page on the database shows the insights based on the portfolio of innovations featured here. So you can deep dive if you're interested in the stats and see the diversity of the portfolio using all the filters that you saw before. And it's quite interactive, intuitive. You can also click on the stats and see specific projects for each stat. And yeah, I hope you will enjoy exploring it. And my colleagues will also share the link to access the database in the chat. And I also want to emphasize that the database is only for WFP colleagues right now, and anyone can start accessing it now, today. Please check the link in the chat. And I want to thank again the WFP Innovation Network, all the innovation teams who contributed to this resource. We really hope that you will enjoy it and that it will be useful for you to find solutions that may potentially address the problems that you are facing in your teams. I thank you again, and yeah, we hope to hear from you. And also you will find the feedback function on the platform and on the link that our colleagues will share. So we hope you will enjoy it. And I'll pass it back to you, Sandra. Thank you, everyone, for the attention.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Julia, and great to see the database being live. Colleagues who are tuning in online, this is a first collection. I am sure that it is not comprehensive. And if you're tuning in today, chances are you are working on an innovation project or you've heard of something. So if your work is not featured and you think that it belongs in this database, there will be a space for you to submit those. So please engage with it. And the database requires access. So just request access, and then the team here will grant it to you as fast as possible. Now, our tour takes us to Panama, where Alexander Lozan, Regional Innovation and Tech Advisor, will share with us regional approaches for scaling tailored local solutions. Alex, we are about 10 minutes behind our program. This is not your fault, but if you can help us stay on time, that would be very, very appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra. Hi, everyone. We are happy to be here with you today to share how we are scaling innovations in Latin America and the Caribbean. For us, innovation is not just about new ideas. It's about making existing solutions work harder and sustainably for us. From leveraging data and digital technologies in school-based programs in South America, to using strategic foresights to reach the people we serve faster and cost-effectively when a hurricane hits the Caribbean, to applying behavioral science to empower women farmers in Central America. To scale up solutions, innovative solutions, we need brave entrepreneurs with the strategic minds to drive change. We are strengthening capacities in our staff across the region to power the entrepreneur in every one of us. We also need partners. We are working closely with private sector, academia, and national governments to create conducive ecosystems for innovations to thrive. Now, I would like to invite my colleagues, Tania Osejo and Erika de Muro, to share insights about two regional projects, Rescue Card and Nilus. Over to you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
And can you see me? I don't know how to.
We can hear you, Tanya. Go for it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm here to present a solution that has been developed by WFP, the Regional Bureau in Panama, to facilitate cash assistance within the first 72 hours of emergency response. And this solution is called Rescue Car. So just wanted to understand much better what the issue here is. Just think about people who has been affected by a sudden event, let's say an earthquake or a flash flood. People affected by this kind of event can actually approach WFP to receive cash assistance. But in order to do so, the population needs to identify themselves. However, population ushering to safety in this kind of situation usually don't bring their ID documents with them. Unfortunately, not having ID is the major impediment for the humanitarian sector to provide cash assistance within the first 72 hours of emergency response. But I have some good news for you because this is not an impediment anymore. WFP, together with the private sector, we have developed Rescue Card. Maybe if you can go to the next slide, please. Rescue Card tackles the issue of not having an ID document by allowing WFP to fulfill the ID requirements that need to be fulfilled. So how we did it? Rescue Card is pre-configured to a unique identifier developed by WFP. What does it mean this? Actually, the card is ready to be used as soon as it reaches people's hands, and no ID is required to be activated. The solution works worldwide and has proven to reduce the operational cost by 44% within the first 3 months of emergency response in comparison to pre-existing payment solutions that WFP has available. We are currently testing the solution in countries in this region like Peru and Haiti with encouraging results. In the case of Peru, we have observed a 100% of user engagement, which means that everybody is using the solution. We have identified that based on the consumption patterns, and mostly the solution is being used to buy food, like 78% of purchases is actually to buy food, but also the people are using the solution to buy medicines, medical care in general terms, and clothing and other stuff. We also, in the test pilot phase, we asked country offices and the beneficiaries people what they think about the solution, and you will see the responses of people in the next slides. Usually we have a positive feedback from the user saying that it's easy to use, it works well. The people are happy because they have the chance to choose what they want, what they buy, and when to buy it, basically. So what are the next plans that we have? The plan is to reach 1 million families in the upcoming 2 years and set up a replenishable stock of cars and preposition them where they are needed. So the cars are ready to hit the ground as soon as emergency strike. That's all from my side. Thank you. So I think over to Erica right now. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues from Colombia. So now we will present Nylus. That is a project that we have currently piloting. So basically it's WFP Colombia, and Nylus is not just Colombia, because in reality also we work with Nylus in Peru and Ecuador in the region. Why we are doing this? Because we really are aligned between WFP and Nylus on key principles of zero waste, leveraging on communities, and basically reach this zero waste of food. Nylus develops technology that basically reduce intermediation between producers and buyers, use and leverage the community, and put into the market basically the food that is wasted. So we want to basically have more value for money and supporting the communities. Next slide. So in Colombia, we are assisting migrants from Venezuela. It's a huge migrant crisis. And as part of our response, we have soup kitchens. It's really the first response that we do in border areas and in migration routes. So basically, in this first phase of our project, we are basically linkaging and having Nilus working with us in WFP contracted shop to basically digitalize every purchase that is needed for the running of the soup kitchens. So we are also improving assurance and controls because this is going fully in a digitalized environment where we can also have a look to the purchases and prices and get better prices. And so again, a value for the money that we give. So in this first phase, we are basically testing the technology for a scale up. And as always, when we innovate, the idea is to dream big. So basically what we want to do, and this will be our second phase, is to open this network to cash beneficiary. The 90% of our CBT operation is cash and restricted cash. So what we want to create is basically a network of shops, but also these can be focal points within the community that function as aggregator of the demand. They can compile all the requested, and basically we can reach more efficiency in our operation, and not just our beneficiary, but a wider community. Also, the idea is to linkage our migration programs and emergency program to the other one that we have in countries. So, for example, putting all the production of smallholder farmers into the same network. We are working with indigenous community, ex-combatants. So we want to create these synergies among our programs and reach more value for money and zero waste for all the communities. Thank you. Over to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much to Alex, to Erica, and to Tanya, and to anyone and everybody that's dialing in from Latin America. Thank you so much to our audience for your engagement so far. It's so lovely to see so many of you online. And without further ado, I'm speeding up here a little bit. I had a lot of planned interventions, but I wanted to also make space for our next speakers. So next up, I am very pleased to introduce Anna Kroger, Project Manager at the UN Advisory Alliance, for our next showcase. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you very much, Sandra, and hello, everyone. I'm more than happy to present to you all today the UN Advisory Alliance. So the UN Advisory Alliance serves as a management consulting and advisory unit for business innovation across the UN system. If you could flip to the next, perfect. So we help UN executives to really envision their future and transform strategy into action. And for this, we have a wide range of service offerings related to project management and end-to-end solutions within the areas of strategy development, problem assessment, data analysis, operating model, organizational design, and change management. So we're really deeply rooted in the quintet of change and the UN 2.0 agenda, and a frontrunner for transformation, modernization, and change within the UN. So we're deeply rooted and hosted by WFP, but we offer our services across the entire UN system. If you could flip back 1 second. And we're really proud to have supported a large range of clients, including WHO, UNHCR, UNIDO, IOM, and many more, which you can see here at the bottom. And to give you a better sense of who we are, we prepared a short overview of the team. We're now more than 60 colleagues. They're of more than 60% female from more than 20 different nations. So a very diverse team, but what unites us all is that we all have a background in the private sector, especially management consulting from top tier firms like Bain, Boston Consulting Group, McKinsey, and other corporates. And on the next slide, you can see a few selected projects that we ran over the last year. For the WFP colleagues in the call, we're currently supporting the large organization-wide transformation, better known as Boost, looking at headquarter and regional configuration. And also we ran a very similar large organizational review for IOM executives over the last year. And for WHO, just to name a few, UNAA also supported in advancing the Secretary General's efficiency agenda, specifically focusing on business operations strategy. So we're really trying to advance efficiency, optimization, and simplifications for our clients and partners to deliver strong results on the ground and achieve the SDGs. And overall, we've just crossed the mark of more than 100 projects supported, both within WFP and other UN entities. And I would like to finish, the picture now got moved to the very first slide. I wanted to finish with a picture of the entire team, which you can see here, and which is during our biannual strategy retreat, which we're doing in the boardroom of WFP in Rome. With that, thanks so much for your attention. Please feel free to reach out for any questions or any opportunities for collaboration. You can see the contact details on the right here. Back to you, Sandra. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Anna. And I'm sure you will get many connections today for UNAA's relevant work. There's also already questions for you in the chat, and I will let you answer these. Our world tour ends with perhaps the best for last. So Jose Alcocer, Head of SDGX Acceleration at the WFP Innovation Accelerator. Over to you, Jose.
Thanks, Sandra, and no pressure with that comment. Thank you, and thank you for organizing this incredible event. So hi, everyone. My name is Jose Alcocer, and I lead the SDGX team at the Innovation Accelerator. I'm connecting from Munich. So if we go to the next slide, we basically created the SDGX team to pursue the mission of WFP to enable others to achieve the broader SDG agenda, in our case, through innovation. So essentially, since 2019, we'll be taking everything that we know how to do well at WFP and all of our learnings and package it to offer a platform for innovation to support others. So we basically do this in three ways. One is with innovation journeys, collective innovation journeys, and I will give you an example today. Acceleration programs, which is mainly working with external or internal ventures or startups to help them on their path to scale. And ecosystem activations, where we mobilize resources and create spaces to provide the right conditions for innovations to flourish, right? So if we go to the next one, in this context, mainly through these programs and journeys, we always show up in a collaborative way. We are enablers. We don't show up as experts. And since 2019, we've developed 36 programs and supported, and that number is real, it's not rounded, exactly 300 ventures. And on the right, you see some of the SDGs that we've worked on. And basically, we work with all sectors. So we've supported UN agencies. We have programs that are being funded by governments to tackle specific challenges, but also with larger NGOs like the Gates Foundation and also private sector. So now if we go to the next one, I will talk about our example of one innovation journey, which we're very proud of, which is called Initiate. And this was kickstarted and led, and it still is. So we're starting our second cohort by our two incredible partners, UNHRD and WHO. And after COVID, they came together to try a new collaborative model to tackle complex challenges in the response to health emergencies. And the first challenge, and if we go to the next one, was, and I will read this one, how might we co-design a rapidly deployable treatment module for infectious diseases, which then turned out to be to treat Ebola, with 20 plus partners working in emergency response. So how we tackle this, and if we go to the next one, we essentially took human-centered design, and we've heard from some people say this is the innovation of innovation, which is great. And we took this group of people, imagine more or less a one-year journey through these three phases: hear, create, and deliver. So the first phase was understanding the problem, that we're getting the problem right, in a full-on workshop, whiteboard, post-it type of environment, with medical doctors and everything you can imagine. Everybody was not skeptical at all. Then we went to the create phase, which what you see in the middle. That picture there is basically setting up a fake hospital or treatment module on a parking lot in Germany. And finally, the deliver phase, where we created, already the minimum viable solution and tested it at UNHRD Brindisi, and took it through a proper simulation environment. So now I'm going to show a video that is talking about this last phase, the third phase of the delivery phase, what happened in Brindisi.
It's always exciting to see the real prototype for the first time after a long design phase.
One of the requirements was to be easy to set up. So meaning the assembling should not be complicated. And when you inflate it with a simple blower and a valve, everything goes up without any help from a human being or tools. We had some heavy rain, and this was a good test for us because I saw that the structure was performing well and did not collapse under strong wind or heavy rain.
We are quite happy about the result in terms of visibility, which is one of the most important elements we had to address with the design. Visibility for the community, visibility for the family around. One of the other important elements is the transparent screens, so the possibility to directly have access and treat the patient directly from the staff zone, which is a low-risk area.
They were kind of the extreme of what we would maybe see, but it was really challenging and exciting at the same time to test it to its full capacity.
We realized that we have been able to deliver care that normally in other outbreaks in the past we had only dreamt of.
The infectious disease treatment module offers a solution for those patients that require elevated medical care when they are infected with highly threat pathogen in a low resources settings.
The infectious disease treatment module serves as a flagship product in laying the foundation for increased emergency preparedness and health response in country from a partnership and multi-agency perspective.
All right, yeah, so that's, we have to stop at the 2-minute mark. It's a 5-minute video. I get goosebumps again to see that we went from post-its to that. And also remembering that we had doctors being very skeptical on day one and then actually putting post-its on the walls while they were after these simulated operations. So just to reiterate, we didn't do the full thing. We designed the journey and then hosted all of those spaces. And the work and the expertise was brought by UNHRD, WHO, and their partners. So impossible to do it without them. And but yeah, if you are facing a similar hairy problem and you need someone to help you out in such a journey with collectives or multi-stakeholder groups, there's my contact detail. And yeah, happy to help and be here and see more of this.
Thank you so much, Jose. And the pressure was well placed. And thank you also for closing our world tour and for all of the other speakers who have been part of this first showcase. And a big thanks to the audience for being so engaged in the chat and for being so active. Our next segment brings together different perspectives along our theme of the day, partnering for innovation. Moderating this panel is Kate Sinclair, Head of Program at the Guatemala Country Office. Welcome and good morning, Kate. Over to you. Kate, can you hear us?
Yes.
Hi, Sandra. Apologies. I lost access to the microphone and camera there. Thank you, Sandra, for the introduction. It's truly a pleasure to be here today with all of you, such a diverse group of colleagues and participants from around the globe. I'm really excited to moderate this panel on partnering for innovation and having the opportunity to engage with our insightful leaders in this field. As Sandra mentioned, my name is Kate Sinclair. I'm the head of program at the country office in Guatemala. In our country office, the entire team plays a really important role in ensuring that innovation is integrated across our programmatic portfolio and beyond. And for us, the unique partnerships that we've been able to forge across this process has really been essential in achieving the results that we have today. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to delve deeper into this topic. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Today, we are joined by George Fernandez, who is the head of innovative finance and frontier innovations at the WFP Innovation Accelerator. Charles Wetherill, a senior investment specialist and program manager with UNCDF. Therese Marie Umstrom Pakratov, special advisor at Innovation Norway. Therese, I hope I got that name right. And last but not least, Ali Raza Qureshi, WFP representative and Iraq country director. Before starting, just a kind reminder to continue to put your questions in and comments into the chat or through the Slido link. To begin, I first of all just want to thank all of our panelists for taking the time to join us today. And before we move to the questions, I'd like to ask each of you to briefly introduce yourselves. George, would you like to go first?
Happy to, Kate, and good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending where you're dialing from. My name is George Fernandez, and I work at Innovation Accelerator, where I have two teams of specialists, one on innovative finance, which will be more the focus of today. So I'll leave that for later, but one of technologists as well, with deep expertise on artificial intelligence, blockchain, and we also work on robotics. The common denominator between those two teams is that we build solutions for WFP with partners. And I'm very happy to see Teresa because she's one of those partners. She has been supporting us in some of the innovative finance projects, and I'm sure we'll be touching on that later on. Back to you, Kate.
Thanks, George. Now we'll move on to Charles.
Thanks, Kate, and hello to everyone. It's really a pleasure for United Nations Capital Development Fund to be represented here, and in fact to talk about a really exciting partnership that we have with WFP. So my name is Charles Wetherill. I'm a program manager and investment specialist with UNCDF. I have about 15 years experience in development finance with the likes of the African Development Bank, the Nordic Development Fund, and now with UNCDF. My role is essentially two parts. One, I structure, innovative finance partnerships with agencies and partners across the UN, and we'll be talking about one specific shortly, one specific partnership. And the other is that I work on deploying capital through the investment instruments that we uniquely have within the UN system. Thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Thanks, Charles, and welcome. Next, over to you, Teresa, and thanks again for joining us.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you very much. My name is Teresa, and I head the Humanitarian Innovation Program at Innovation Norway. And this is a program that is set up to support and de-risk innovation partnerships between humanitarian organizations and the private sector. So through this program, we have the pleasure of supporting several World Food projects.
Great, thanks. And finally, over to you, Ali.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ali Raza Qureshi. I'm the country director for WFP in Iraq. And one of the cornerstone work that we are doing in Iraq, many people know Iraq in a different context when it was a large humanitarian operation. Today, it's a different Iraq. And we're working very closely with the government of Iraq and strengthening their capacity for them to deliver better services to their citizens. Thank you.
Thanks, Ali, and welcome. Okay, so now we'll dive right into the questions. And my first question is for you, George. I would love to hear from you. What is the background to WFP's ongoing partnership with UNCDF?
Innovative finance has been recognized as one key enabler for the accomplishment and realization of the global strategic plan, but also the programmatic activities of various units, regional bureaus, and country offices. We have been, under the leadership of the CFO and also other directors, exploring various instruments that can complement our ability to mobilize resources from traditional sources, particularly through grants. And we have been exploring things like debt swaps, climate finance, blended finance, and others, so that we can actually augment our ability to deliver services and value to the people we serve. The partnership we have with UNCDF is cornerstone to what we are doing in the context of blended finance, where we try to move away from pure grant assistance towards the innovative businesses and other ag SMEs that we work with at country level, towards regenerative models where we can actually multiply the investments that we make and stretch each dollar so that we can help more people at the end of the day. The partnership is anchored under a mechanism that we call WFP Bridge, and I'm sure Charles can tell us much more about it, but it's in essence a blended finance facility that provides concessional loans and guarantees aligned with our programmatic objectives, really playing to the complementary strengths that both agencies bring together for the benefit of the good that we want to accomplish together. Back to you.
Thanks, George. It's very interesting to hear more about the role of blended finance mobilization and the scope for involving UNCDF. And Charles, it would be great now to hear from the other side of the coin. So for you, how is this partnership strategic for UNCDF?
Yeah, thanks again. And it's really great to kind of have a chance to be on a panel and share the space here with George, because we have a very close collaborative relationship with George and his team. We're really speaking on a weekly basis on a lot of really exciting, new blended finance initiatives. So I feel like I'm in good company here. So just to step back in terms of UNCDF, we are the United Nations catalytic finance entity for developing countries. And what does that mean? We have a unique mandate within the UN to deploy blended capital. And as George mentioned, not just in the form of grants, but true kind of private sector instruments, loans and guarantees to private companies. Our strategic framework in terms of delivering blended finance is twofold. We cover a number of sectors, one of which happens to be sustainable food systems finance. So this is very appropriate. And the other aspect is that we try to do this in a way that we partner with other UN agencies. And effectively, our role is making available a set of innovative finance instruments that can literally expand the playbook for those agencies in terms of what they're trying to achieve. So we are engaging more concretely, more sustainably, and really effectively kind of harnessing private sector solutions toward the SDGs. And we're trying to do this with a number of partner agencies across the United Nations sort of development system. So in the case of WFP, the last, let's say, 18 months, we have put together a really exciting new structure called WFP Bridge. Bridge is the vehicle that we use to deploy blended finance to private sector companies. And what we're really doing is, picking up on the work of the Innovation Accelerator, which has identified a really exciting pool of innovative venture sort of early stage companies working in food systems across the global South. And we're bringing in our instruments to enable, our two agencies together to continue to walk with these companies as they progress, as they scale, and as they approach a stage where they can actually access commercial finance. We're providing a bridge facility to enable those companies to reach commercial finance, which is true sustainability for the companies, but also for the impact that we're able to unlock. So that's that's in a nutshell what we're doing. And I guess I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it was very interesting that we happened to follow a presentation. So this is sort of breaking news, but we were able to follow a presentation by your colleagues in Colombia on the company Nihilus. And I would just say that Nihilus happens to be one of the companies that we are looking at and in a fairly advanced way in terms of, the first transactions to take place under this new facility. So we're very excited about that. And I'm really glad to see that plugs into, the programmatic work that's happening across WFP. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Charles. And it's great to learn about this really positive interagency partnership, and also to learn more about the bridge facilities and its adaptability to the different partners' needs. We're really looking forward to seeing and hearing more about the work that you do within that facility. Now we'll hear from Ali. Ali, your team is creating groundbreaking partnerships with the government of Iraq. Can you share with us why it's important strategically, and what are some of the innovative ways you have been partnering and working with the government of Iraq?
Thank you, Kate. As I mentioned at the beginning of my introduction, that in Iraq, it's really the stability that Iraq has been seeing, and both the political and security. That means that the government now needs to be in the driver's seat, because we are now entering a new era of development. So when we do something good, I mean, this is something that my regional director has always taught me, that when we do something good, our impact reaches hundreds, thousands. When the government does the same thing better, you reach millions and millions of people. So the scalability that you get with the government is very different than what you can achieve through a donor-funded operation. So when we talk about our innovative partnership with the government of Iraq, it has, one, helped us to achieve better impact, sustainability, because once we have demonstrated to the government that a solution works and it's being taken over by the government, it's included in the national budgets and it's going to be in the long term. It's not a one-off that it's funded by the donor, and then when the funding stops, that stops as well. So for me, that is very, very critical, that when we look at sustainability side of things, we're working with the government becomes even more important. So when the trick that for us, which is, I think when you talk about innovation, it's really starting with the smaller scale pilots and leveraging the lessons that have been learned from different iterations and expansion. And then that has helped us really showing to the government that this works, for them to be able to then scale it up. I think we have worked very closely with the Innovation Accelerator, because one of the biggest challenge when you talk about innovation is there is always a risk of what we traditionally call failure. I don't call it a failure, I call it a great learning opportunity. But the challenge is that in your traditional donor-funded projects, and in the government as well, if you try something new and it fails, what happens? It's considered, you call it a failure, and it has negative connotations that come with it. But working with Innovation Accelerator team, it gives us that safe space. And I very much like what Teresa just said earlier, de-risking the space around innovation. So we have that mechanism internally, but then we as WFP Iraq becomes that de-risking entity for the government of Iraq. If we have tested a solution, like on the public distribution system, which provides food to 40 million Iraqis, and our innovative solution comes into play, which we know works, and we give it to the government, and they can save hundreds of millions of dollars while providing a better food ration to the people, it's a win-win for all. So that's the spirit in which we are working. There are a lot of areas, I don't want to take too much time, but there are a lot of areas in which we are working together with the Innovation Acceleration team around climate. We are already talking with UNSTCF as well. So I think next time when Charles, you talk about countries, we will also talk about Iraq, because we are already having discussions for one of our SHE-CAN, which is a blended finance for microcredits to first mile beneficiaries. And I'm really, in fact, today we launched the micro risk insurance in Iraq as well. So I'm looking forward to that happening. And I was really, this morning we were in that workshop, and I was really pleased to see the enthusiasm of the government and the insurance regulators on how they want this product to come into Iraq and really support the smallholder farmers. And then I think the other part which countries, and in this nexus that we always talk about, the humanitarian development and peace nexus, human capital development is a key. And the work that we can bring through innovative solutions for that human capital development, I think is often not that well recognized. And especially from a WFP lens, it is often not recognized. And we have tried that in Iraq, and I can tell you that one of our programs, which was globally known as Impact before, I think many of people who follow WFP Innovation Accelerator products, they know about Impact. We did that in Iraq. Now it's a national program with an Iraqi name called Jasur, which means bridges. So the bridge between one end, which was the old world before the digital innovation, to the new world, the new Iraq, which is taking Iraq into the digital era of Industrial Revolution 4.0. And then last but not least is data. How do we mine data? How do we use data for helping government to make decisions? And there's a lot of cutting edge work that's been done through remote sensing, etc. So I will just end there, but I think the key for me is we have to work closely with the governments when we talk about innovation to ensure impact, scalability, and sustainability. Thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Ali, and I'm really happy to see that just this panel has helped facilitate new partnerships. And thanks for sharing your experience. I think working with government is something that's critical across WFP's programming, but does pose its own challenges. So I think all of our colleagues online today will learn a lot from not only your success stories, but also all of the lessons learned along the way. Now we'll move to a new perspective and we'll turn to Therese. Innovation Norway is known amongst its peers in championing innovation lens and dedicating support to advancing transformative effect on the UN community. I'm interested in hearing how your take on why it is so important to your organization.
Well, I think it's clear to everyone that status quo isn't an option. So we need to innovate. The funding gap that we see in humanitarian assistance today is such a stark indicator of this, and we're not able to meet the needs of people affected by crisis. And so innovation is then a tool to help us see how we can increase our impact with the resources that we have available. There are also a lot of lost opportunities, new technologies and new ways of working that are not used and not scaled. And so we really need to figure out how we can do that better. I really agree with Secretary General Guterres when he says that without innovation, we cannot overcome the challenges of our time. What is important is to ensure that innovations work for all and not only for a few. And so that's why it's so important that we have a UN that can innovate and that adopts innovations once we have solid proof of concepts. And when I talk about innovation, I'm not only talking about technology and new products, because we need those, of course, but we also need those new innovative business models that I think the panelists before me have spoken about just now. Innovation in how we work, how we collaborate, and how we make an impact. And the more that I work on innovation, the more I become passionate about bureaucracy, which might sound a bit strange. However, without the bureaucracy that supports innovation, collaboration between actors from different sectors, and uptake of new solutions, none of these things will actually happen. We can talk about foresight and the potential of AI and other really exciting developments, but it's not going to take place if our organizations don't have the bureaucracy that can support these types of work. So in addition to funding really exciting innovation projects through the Humanitarian Innovation Program, we also focus a lot on what we can call organizational readiness, so developing the guidance and procedures that will help the sector innovate and adopt innovations. And through that work, we're trying to have a catalytic effect on the system. And I've been really encouraged by the launches today because it really shows that the World Food Programme is building on the lessons learned in your innovation work until now, and that is indeed affecting your guidance and the way that you're moving forward. So that's really great to see.
Thanks, Teresa. And it's fascinating to hear about Innovation Norway's commitment to promoting innovation within the UN system. Thanks for helping us always push those boundaries. Now we'll move back to you, George. In your perspective, what does the future hold for this partnership approach?
We need always to play to the strengths in a very complementary way, where we bring the best of each of us, and that means all of us in the panel. As an illustration of that, we definitely need the support of our donors and our funders, and that Teresa represents. We need the skills of those that have the mechanisms that WFP doesn't have, like Charles on behalf of UNCDF, but definitely we do it to support country offices and field teams like Ali, so that they can benefit from the expertise that lies in more central functions to help the people that we all serve. And I think this illustrates how, in a chain effect, we can actually also pool our capabilities, pool our resources for the greater good that we're trying to accomplish. And I think what we need now is really to scale these mechanisms. Ali mentioned She Can, something that my team is doing together with the country office team, leveraging the insights from earlier pilots in other countries. We're bringing new additions like exploring Islamic social finance, which we haven't done in other contexts because it was not contextually relevant, culturally relevant, but it is a necessity there. And it shows how we are also stretching the boundaries of what's possible within WFP, but we can only do it because we play to the strengths of all our partners. And in that sense, I really call on everyone to continue scaling their ability to support these initiatives, because like that, we will be able to serve more people. And as Ali also said, help the government serve even more people thanks to the knowledge, the learnings, and the expertise that we can put at their service.
Thanks, Charles. And it's really exciting to hear about the potential of this collaborative work that we can all employ in our day-to-day work, and how these types of partnerships can spark not only geographical scale up, but also thematic scale up as well. Thanks for sharing the optimism. For the next question, Teresa, Innovation Norway tends to prefer multi-partner projects, particularly those that leverage the private sector. Can you share more about your motivation to foster this kind of approach?
Sure. I think we all agree that we're faced with some significant challenges in humanitarian response today, and significant challenges are best solved in partnerships between experts of different walks of life. In the fall, I had the pleasure of visiting your Nairobi office and one of the World Food projects that we're supporting there, the H2Grow project. And as a lot of you probably know, this is a large initiative that brings locally adaptable and affordable hydroponic solutions to vulnerable communities worldwide. And the portion of this initiative that we're funding deals with the transition to scale. So your colleagues are working on developing an asset-based loan system that can make hydroponic equipment affordable for people affected by crisis. And what really struck me during that visit was this fantastic ecosystem that's being developed around this innovation to help it scale. It's an ecosystem of actors within farming, hydroponics, access to clean water, access to markets to sell produce, and so on. And all these different components need to come together to make access to hydroponic equipment possible. So without that collaboration between the communities that are part of the project, the UN, NGOs, the private sector, then hydroponics would risk being yet another innovation that stops at a few pilots, which is what we don't want. So partnership is really key, seeing that holistic picture and understanding all the various components that need to come together to help us make that change and then impact that we're looking for, and then partner with all those actors that have that specialized expertise that is needed to make all of that work together. So through our program, we support all kinds of partnerships. We encourage humanitarian actors to come together around a particular challenge and develop their project. It is essential and a requirement that people affected by crisis are part of the project from the very beginning to the very end. But we do have a particular focus on partnerships with the private sector, and this is because we see that innovation partnerships between humanitarian organizations and the private sector can be characterized by risks for both parties to enter into. And so we need more agile de-risking instruments to support them. So this is what we aim to be.
Great, thanks so much. And I also actually had the opportunity to visit H0 through an innovation workshop in Nairobi. And I'm happy to say that in Guatemala, we're actually replicating a lot of the work that's taking place there. So thank you for providing the funding necessary to test out these different approaches to integrating innovation in our work. And building on that point, let's dive into our next question. I'd like to turn to Ali. Ali, from your perspective, Which kind of partnerships are still needed for WFP to fully embrace its innovation potential? And under which topics do we still need to work more with others?
I think it's always like I think the other speakers at the very beginning said partnerships are very, very critical when we talk about innovation. I think WFP Innovation Accelerator is always on the lookout for new partners. So it's always great to see the depth and breadth of the partnership that they reach, especially also, I think, in terms of supporting not only WFP operations, but also supporting other UN operations. And then it is interesting to see that sometimes while they are supporting other UN entities, something comes out which, or a solution comes out which can also be adopted by WFP. So I think that I would encourage the continuity of that spirit of helping others, because in that it helps us. But for me, when I look at it more broadly, I think there is also a need of fostering that partnership with the private sector in the countries where we are operating. So if in Iraq, I'm only going to be looking at outside Iraq to leverage innovative solutions, then I'm not helping the country. So, I mean, I am personally in Iraq looking at it that I need to enhance the relationship with the private sector here to leverage their potential to lead on the local innovation ecosystem as partners, as investors, and as innovators themselves. Likewise, I think another important aspect is the financial and impact investment partnerships. And I think we are already seeing that happening with Charles present here, and George talked about it earlier, but I think we need to strengthen that a bit more. Why? Because that gives the sustainability beyond seed grant. The concessional loans, the equity, the access to finance, to me, that's very critical in ensuring that the solutions that were like brought into life through support of our donors like Teresa and others, how do we take it beyond? So it's not only the government, the innovators themselves need to take it beyond the initial stage. And for that, in some countries, access to finance is challenging. So how do we overcome that? Partnering with a number of actors, I think it's very critical. Lastly, but more importantly, academia. I think we need to take that partnership to the next level, because globally, when you look at the top companies in the world, a lot of their research and development is technically outsourced to universities, right? So when you look at the 5G, it was basically developed in universities. When you look at a lot of development that has happened in the IT sector happens in universities. So how do we take that partnership with the universities also, where we can work with them to develop some of the innovative solutions? And we have already started doing that in Iraq, where for a lot of climate challenges, we are working with local universities. And I can tell you that I'm quite impressed with their capacity of finding innovative solutions. They just needed that little support and little nudge. And I think to sustain that at the end, the civil society and local community organizations need to be integrated into the innovations that we do. And of course, I think, I mean, technology is a no-brainer, because, and again, I think WFP has shown that very well. I just want to share one little anecdote on technology. I'm an old-timer. So 24 years ago, I was surprised how in a remote sub-office, so the sub-national office that we call sub-office in a deep field in Afghanistan, that they were able to receive emails over radio waves. So we used to call it CC mail back then, and no other organization had that capability, but WFP had that capability back in 1998, that without internet, we were still able to send emails over radio waves. So I think technology has been in our DNA, and I would just encourage that we strengthen that more. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ali, and your insights today, I think, will help guide the work of all of our colleagues listening today. As we draw to a close, I want to extend a sincere thank you to George, Charles, Teresa, and Ali for your invaluable contributions today. Your insights, ideas, and tangible initiatives have really made this panel enriching. And to all of our audience members as well, thank you for your attention and active participation. Unfortunately, we do not have time to dive into questions, but thank you for participating. And now over to you, Sandra, for the last segment of our event.
Thank you so much. And thanks again, Ali, George, Charles, Therese Marie, for this really interesting exchange. What a great opportunity to learn from your work. And thank you, Kate, for moderating the event. And our dear audience, thank you for still being active and engaged. And apologies for running a little bit late. But there's still one more segment that we are really excited to show you. What do you think WFP El Salvador, engineering and innovation have in common? Here to show us is Malena Makasi, innovation consultant at the WFP Innovation Accelerator. Welcome, Malena.
Thank you, Sandra. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for keep us in the event. I'm very happy to be here to share more about our journey with the Kitchen in a Box innovation in El Salvador. And I would like to welcome my two guests for this fireside chat. First, we have Cesar Pineda, Partnerships and Communication Officer at WFP El Salvador. And second, we have Consolación Castro, engineer from the Management and Services Division at WFP headquarters. I see them there. Hi, hope you're doing fine. Before starting with the questions, I would like to invite Cesar to give us a brief presentation about the innovation of Kitchen in a Box. So over to you, Cesar.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We have a PowerPoint. It's coming up right now. There you go. Okay. Thank you. Well, in El Salvador, there are over 5,000 schools, many of which need a proper kitchen and storage facilities for the proper preparation of school meals. And most of them do not have an adequate dining area. This adds up to nearly 720 schools, around 150,000 students, and around 15% of children nationwide. In addition, 3,000 schools still cook with firewood, increasing health risks for both children and cooks, not to mention the environmental impact. So with the help of the Innovation Accelerator and WFP engineers, we started thinking, how do we fix this? And it started all by answering the question, how do we provide a decent and cost-effective kitchen for school meals while reducing health and environmental impacts through resilient and sustainable solutions? And that's where Kitchen in a Box came up. Kiev is a smart solution which adapts to either shipping containers refurbished as safe kitchens or in suitable infrastructure in schools. By using solar energy instead of wood and other carbon-intensive fuels for food preparation, Kiev reduces the environmental and health impact. To date, we have 3 Kievs being implemented and projected to be scaled up nationwide. Kiev is basically a pilot composed that builds on smart kitchens, initially from used shipping containers, equipping them with state-of-the-art technology, reducing cooking time, including solar panels that represent savings for schools, and providing renewable energy to reduce greenhouse gases and cost. Also including a smart school garden linked to water collection system aiming for sustainability. We have to mention that we are exploring other renewable energy sources, which is the advantages of basically piloting. We didn't do this alone. We have very important partners that participated in this, such as the government through the school feeding programs, donors and potential donors who we are planning to reach out soon. I even heard some opportunities that we can explore through this meeting. Private sector represented by MSC Foundation that donated the first 3 containers. And key internal partnership, basically the Innovation Accelerator and WFP engineers. We have a video about Kiev journey and transformation that we're going to share in the chat for those who are interested in learning about our solution. And thank you. Over to you, Malena.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Cesar. I hope this was helpful for the audience to understand a bit better about Kitchen in a Box. And now, to start the fireside chat, I would like to start with the first question for both of my guests. How does collaboration between different stakeholders help in leveraging complementary strengths and resources to accelerate the innovation process? Maybe we can start, Cesar, with you, and then we can give the floor to Consolación. Over to you.
Sure, my pleasure. Well, as mentioned during in the PowerPoint, collaboration between different stakeholders is essential for accelerating innovation process, which is vital for addressing complex challenges social programs face by adopting an integrated approach. Each stakeholder contributed with unique insights that, when combined, led to more effective problem solving. Collaboration also allows a combination of different expertise and perspectives to mobilize resources, create an environment for innovation. And sometimes you realize that the most complex problems, even though how big they look, can be solved with the simplest solutions. Also, internal collaboration and public-private partnership played a key role to achieve this. Thank you.
Perfect. Yes, definitely. They play a key role to achieve this acceleration of innovation. And what do you think, Consolación?
A good question, Elena. Thank you. As part of the Management Service Divisions, engineers work closely on key initiatives to accelerate innovations, such as environmental sustainability, accessibility, occupational safety and health, important topics for WFP projects and the communities that we serve. Therefore, WFP engineers incorporate design workshops with all the key stakeholders to develop the conceptual proposal for projects, balance advantages and disadvantages, general brainstormings, helping to explore different perspectives, challenges, assumptions, bringing ideas of multiple solutions that can be prototyped and tested in collaboration with the beneficiaries, allowing to gathering lessons learned, enabling to refine design based on user experiences, and finally assess the impact by the use of monitoring and evaluation methods.
Wow, I'm very glad to learn more about how engineers, WFP engineers, also collaborate with different stakeholders. So, Consolación, my second question will be the next for you. I'm aware that you support many projects in different regions and countries where WFP operates. How do WFP engineers apply innovative methodologies such as design thinking or human-centered design in the projects that they support?
Well, WFP Engineering applies innovative methods to improve the effectiveness and impact of the projects through the use of the design thinking. We are very human-centered, working for and with beneficiaries first, and we begin in understanding the needs by empathizing and conducting field research to understand the challenges affected mainly by food insecurity and climate change that define clear problem statements. There is so much important right now about what human beings should do on climate. And so how can we look to nature and really leverage what we know works to provide solutions more sustainable and innovative? By engaging communities and involving them into the process, we empower them to share their knowledge to develop solutions that are culturally appropriate, sustainable, and inclusive, that contribute to a circular economy. WFP Engineering has over 200 experts spread around the world, working closely with multidisciplinary specialists, empowering communities to develop truly inspiring solutions, more resilient and socially inclusive.
Thank you, Consolación. Yeah, interesting to learn that engineers are supporting country offices to adopt these innovative methods as well to really develop impactful solutions. And now to go to my final question, Cesar, based on your experience with Kitchen in a Box and in WFP El Salvador, what advice would you give to WFP country offices or operational offices in other UN agencies that would like to partner with different stakeholders to implement these innovations?
Sure. Well, as mentioned in the section before, I think piloting is key, and we have learned a lot through this journey. So here's some advice that our colleagues might find helpful. First, establish shared goals. Make sure that all parties have a common vision, in this case, supporting zero hunger by contributing by strengthening the school feeding program. And follow the objective, which was provide students with quality meals in a safe and hygienic conditions with smart kitchens, as explained before. Well, second, a clear identification of the problem or needs. It's also key to identify how different partners can contribute and set the right expectations. This is also the foundation to incubate innovative solutions, transitioning from brainstorming to prototyping. Finally, be flexible and ready to change. Piloting any idea or concept is a learning journey full of changes. So it is vital to be willing to adjust accordingly to the experience gained. Be flexible and adaptive to change. Kiev has undergone several adjustments as we have all experienced, and well, changes for the better since its inception.
Definitely a learning journey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cesar, for the advice, and I hope that our audience finds it useful for their own initiatives and journey when partnering for innovation. And with this, we conclude this fireside chat. Thank you again, Consolación and Cesar. It's been a pleasure, and until next time. Over to you, Sandra.
Amazing. Thank you so much to Malena, Consolación, and Cesar for this really engaging chat, and best of luck in the next steps of Kitchen in a Box. And my dear audience, this brings us to the end of our event. I would like to thank the 20 speakers who made this event enriching and an appropriate showcase of WFP's innovation and partnership prowess. And I would like to thank my colleagues at WFP who have worked so hard on these initiatives, projects, launches, the production of this event, and all the behind the scenes. And my deep thanks to the global WFP workforce for its daily dedication to our mission of ending hunger and saving lives worldwide. Thank you to all our partners, big and small, for your instrumental support of WFP innovation worldwide. And most of all, thank you, our dear audience, for tuning in and being so engaged in the chat and through reactions. It was a pleasure to be your host, and I'll see you very soon.
I am a champion because I believe innovation can accelerate our efforts to achieve zero hunger.
I promote useful and sustainable initiatives for the improvement of interactions of colleagues.
Because I dedicate myself every day to support my colleagues to make the world a better place, especially the smallholder farmers who are not heard.
To acquire the skills and be exposed to the tools that will help me in creating an enabling environment in our region, a must-do if we want to expand our reach to those in need.
And I'm a champion because I promote the use of innovation and technology to help our colleagues in the field.
Because I'm passionate about exploring creative solutions in addressing food insecurity and bring about positive change in our communities.
To bring people policy to life, I need to constantly recharge my energy, my inspiration, and learn some other best practices from innovators globally. That is why I'm a proud innovation champion. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.